Good evening, people of the Garbled, and welcome back to Fun Decks. We have a new Yu-Gi-Oh promo coming out. This is coming out in a weird set. It's like a book for, GX duels, and they just decided they're going to throw a promo called Miracle Ejector. This is based off of Card Ejector. I don't know if people remember this. It was kind of a slow DD Crow for only on field. So it didn't really see too much play, but I think it was a promo, so I know I have a bunch of copies of it somewhere. But anyway, this is an upgraded version of it. So it's called Miracle Ejector. It's a level 3 Earth Spellcaster effect monster. Attack 400, defense 400. This card is always treated as an E-hero. You can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. So first, you can send one Neospatial monster from your deck to your graveyard, special in this card from your hand. This is interesting. I mean, obviously, it's just extended for here. I don't know if that was really what they needed or would move the needle. But I am a little curious if there's any Neospatians that do anything, at least from the OG Neospatians. I don't think anyone had any great graveyard synergies, but maybe they've done something since then. So I'm a little new on that. But the interesting effect is if this card is normal special name, you can add one spell trap that mentions an Elemental Heroes monster card name from your deck to your hand. So when I first read this part, I thought, oh, okay, this is fine. I mean, there's a lot of old school cards that are useless, but I realized there's so many effects that mention Elemental Hero Neos in them, and that would count. So I've actually done a deep dive in this, so we'll get into in a second. But lastly, when we its third effect, and this card sent to the graveyard, you can target one card in opponent's graveyard, banish it. So this is pretty cool, actually. So we'll get into these targets, and this will make or break the usefulness of this card. But regardless, this is basically, I think it's a circular for, Neospatian Elemental Hero. Again, I'm not sure what target you're trying to send here, but you can basically summon this for free from your hand, and on summon get a bunch of different spell traps that can be useful, which is pretty cool. So this is a very free card for E-Hero, and I think it could do something. I know they've kind of now, it's been a weird spot. Hero tends to lean more towards a Destiny and Evil Hero and stuff, and kind of ignore the Neospatian side of it. But this does support that a lot. So let's get into it. Yep. So I just searched for any cards that mention Elemental Hero. So there's 56 total targets. I didn't go through all. I just skimmed very briefly, and a lot of them just mention Elemental Heroes in general, and that wouldn't apply. But I was able to find some cool ones. So one I think is really cool is this card. It's called Ian Shuffle. So you shuffle one E-Hero Neospatian you control into the deck, and if you do special on one E-Hero or Neospatian monster, a different name from your deck. So what's nifty about this is that because later on it mentions Neos at the end, you theoretically can just search this out, and so Card Ejector effectively becomes any hero from your deck without requiring a normal summon. That's not super special. They already because hero already has that card that you can pay half your life to just e-tally a hero from your deck. But this is pretty cool. I think this is interesting. I mean, just searching a Strauss to search a different hero, this gains a lot of advantage. It's pretty cool. Also, later on in your turn, because to use Card Ejector, you do have to play a Neospatian. This also has the effect that you can banish this from your graveyard and shuffle an E-Hero and a Neospatian from your grave and draw one. Or you can just do Neos. It counts as both for that part. But because you've already sent the Neospatian monster, worst comes to worst, as soon as you get a monster in grave, E-Hero, you can just shuffle those two back into the deck to get a draw, which is pretty dang cool. And even if you don't, for example, want to shuffle back the card deck for a reason or you don't get a chance, this is still useful because Card Ejector, if it goes to the grave, you can theoretically use this banish effect. So this is, I think, the best target I've saw. That was pretty cool, and this hasn't seen any play this far. Instant Contact, this one also mentions Neos, so it's pretty cool. Basically, you can just summon any Neos fusion monster from the extra deck, and there's no lock or anything, so it's pretty cool. So this is just a way of gaining material. If you want to go into maybe Link if you want, but you can do it. Neos Fusion also again mentions Neos, so it's something that you theoretically could do. Not sure if they were really hurting for this, but additional searcher. And then kind of keeping going, scraping the bottom of the barrel here. So this one, you have to banish 2 Neospatian monsters from your graveyard to basically summon 2 Neospatians from your hand deck or graveyard. That's fine. Again, I don't think Card Ejector, this isn't one card combo. You'd have to get a different Neospatian in grave. It's a search target. Yeah, it's fine. And then this last one, so you can basically send a Neospatian and one E-Hero from your hand and deck. So this would theoretically help you foolish another Neospatian in case that was the clincher the decks would need. And then you have to get an E-Hero from your hand. I'm not sure how you do that, though. and then you can just tutor out a Neospatian or a level 5 or a higher E hero. So it's fine. You also get poly, so like theoretically this can work, it can help, but again, I don't think this is really like where it goes. But anyway, looking into traps, you can get next, but the whole benefit of next is that it requires you to have no cards if you want to activate from your hand. It does let you have kind of like a evenly matched effect. So obviously you couldn't use this from your hand; you'd have to set it. But there's it does let you basically just summon a bunch of Neospatian and heroes. That's cute. The one last card I think is kind of weird. I doubt it would see any play, but it's cool nonetheless. Is just basically this is called Protection of Elements. I haven't seen this see any play, but this is searchable because it does mention Terra Firma, the fusion monsters. Doesn't mention Neo, so that's fun. What's cool about it is you can just negate a spell trap and then banish one of your E heroes until the end phase. So this is searchable. Again, Card Ejector would count as E hero. So this is functionally just a method of searching out a counter trap for spell traps, which is not nothing. I think it's pretty cool. And then it does have a graveyard effect that it does let you can banish from grave to summon one of your E heroes. So it's not bad. You can use both effects in the same turn theoretically. So if you did discard this later in a combo or whatever, you could just use this to summon something back. So I think it could work dual utility just in terms of traps. It was the only thing playable. But regardless, I think this card's pretty cool. I think it's going. Sorry, wrong time. I think this card's pretty cool. I think it's going to really depend on whether or not E-Hero or Hero decks really want to be slating in an extra Neospatian to make it worthwhile. But I think it does deserve some experimenting. I don't know if this banish effect would be relevant in terms of you could like use this as fusion material or just get to your grave during your opponent's turn. I don't know. But if you could, then it could also be added disruption. I think this is really cool, and I just wish I knew when the heck we would get in the TCG. Anyway, that's it for the video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And anyway, fun decks, signing out. Bye.